There are souls for whom life does not change slowly. It changes in a single breath, shifting from the gray weight of scarcity to the gold light of provision, from the exhausting chase to the quiet state of being chosen. If you found yourself here, it is because you have reached the holy limit of your own endurance. You are no longer willing to tolerate the old story of struggle. You are ready to cross a threshold. By the end of this journey today, I'm going to place a sacred ritual in your hands, one that completes a shift already underway within you. This is not a promise of something that might happen in the distant future. This is an activation for the next 48 hours of your life. By the time we are finished, you will carry a final sacred seal, a decree that acts as the final lock in your transition from the world of lack to the world of overflow. Listen closely, for this knowledge does not arrive early. It arrives exactly when you are ready to hear it. You are one of the rare souls. You are one of the ones who can sense the invisible currents of grace moving beneath the surface of the mundane. While others are content to grind their spirits into dust just to survive, you have felt a hollow ache in your chest that whispers there has to be another way. You are not lost, and you are not broken. You are simply tuned to a frequency that no longer matches the life you are living. Drawing from the eternal principles preserved in the work of Florence Scovel Shinn, we know that prosperity is not a reward for your labor. It is a shift in your identity. The moment you stop identifying as someone who is trying to make it and start identifying as a soul that naturally receives, the entire mechanical structure of the universe reorganizes itself around you. Imagine for a moment that you are standing in a silent room. To your physical ears, there is nothing but quiet. But we know, with scientific certainty, that the air around you is thick with music, news, and voices traveling on radio waves at this very second. Unless you have a receiver tuned to the exact frequency of that music, you hear nothing. You could be standing in the middle of a symphony and still feel alone in the silence. This is exactly how abundance functions in the spiritual realm. It is a broadcast that surrounds you constantly. It is not being withheld by a stingy universe, and it is not reserved for a chosen few. It is simply a station you have not yet learned how to find. Most of us have spent our lives with our dials locked onto the station of the great struggle. We are tuned to the frequency of barely getting by and the anxiety of the unpaid bill. And here is the hard truth you must understand. No matter how hard you work or how many hours you sacrifice, you cannot hear the symphony of wealth if you are still broadcasting the signal of lack. You are already using the law of belief every day, but you have been using it to anchor yourself to the murky shore of not enough, standing beside the river as if you were never meant to drink from it. This realization should not bring you shame, but a deep sense of power. If you have been able to create a reality of struggle through the power of your belief, then you possess the exact same power to create a reality of overflow. Before we move into the mechanics of this shift, I need you to make a gesture of intent. If you are serious about stepping into this new frequency, hit the like button right now. This is your physical signal to the invisible world that you are done with the old station. And then, I want you to go to the comments and type 3 words. No explanation is needed, just the declaration, I shift now. Those 3 words are a spiritual contract. You are signing your name to a new reality. And for those who feel the call to plant a physical seed for this new harvest, the super thanks is there as an altar. No gift ever leaves your life. It merely changes form and returns to you magnified. If your spirit says yes, plant that seed now as an act of trust. There is a weight to being a rare soul. It is the weight of knowing you are made for more while living in a reality that feels like a cage. It is the dissonance of waking up in the middle of the night with a hunger for greatness while looking at a world that suggests you are small. Most people in this place begin to believe that they are the problem. They think they are not smart enough or spiritual enough. But you must understand that you are not being punished. You are simply misaligned. You have been walking through your days with a blueprint of poverty folded in your heart, wondering why the house of your life feels so cold. You have been looking for the sun while standing in a cellar of your own design. But today, we are walking up the stairs. Consider the metaphor of the two rivers. For your entire life, the world has told you that there is only one river, a murky, sluggish stream that is thick with the sediment of fear. You have been told that if you want to survive, you must drink from this cloudy water. So you drink, and you feel heavy. You feel tired. The water does not give you life. It just keeps you from dying. But then, you hear a sound in the distance. It is the sound of rushing water, clean, fast, and vibrant. There has always been another river. The shift begins the moment you stop cupping your hands at the murky stream and turn your face toward the sound of the clean water. The first thing you will notice is not money. It is relief. It is a deep, bone-level exhale. It is the feeling of a weight you did not even know you were carrying finally sliding off your shoulders. Let me tell you a story of this law in action. In 1965, there was a person named Donna who lived in a gray apartment in New York City. Donna worked as a secretary, her days consumed by the clatter of a typewriter and the gray exhaustion of filing letters. Her salary was a tightrope. Every month was a calculation of survival. Donna had been raised to believe that effort equaled reward. But after 10 years of hard work, she only felt drained. She felt invisible. One rainy Tuesday, Donna wandered into a bookstore just to escape the downpour. As she walked down an aisle, a book literally fell from the shelf and landed at her feet. It was a copy of The Game of Life and How to Play It. She opened it to a random page and read, "Man can only receive what he sees himself receiving." In that moment, Donna realized she had spent a decade seeing herself as a struggler. She had been visualizing bills and visualizing herself on the edge of collapse. She decided to perform a 48-hour experiment. She took a small silver thimble she used for sewing, and she designated it as her anchor of wealth. She held it in her hands, closed her eyes, and whispered, "I am rare. I shift now. Wealth is my frequency." She went to sleep whispering those words. She woke up whispering them. The next morning, she did not walk as a tired secretary. She walked as someone who was already wealthy, but whose money was simply in transit. At 11:30 that morning, Donna's boss called her into his office. Donna's old self prepared for a reprimand, but instead, her boss told her she had been the backbone of the office, and they had been blind to it. He offered her a new position with a private office and a salary that was double what she made before. That same afternoon, she received a check in the mail from an old friend who had owed her money for years and had finally found the means to pay it back. 2 sources of income in less than 24 hours. Donna realized the money was not the miracle. The miracle was the shift. She had changed her internal broadcast, and the universe had no choice but to change the program. You are now going to do exactly what Donna did. We will move through the 4 movements of the sacred practice. The first movement is the selection of your vessel. Find an object. It does not need to be expensive. It could be a coin, a stone, or a piece of jewelry. This is your physical anchor. In the world of spirit, the invisible must be made visible. This object represents your new frequency. Find a place where you can be alone and hold your object in both hands. Feel its texture and its weight. This object is no longer a thing. It is a doorway. The second movement is the breath of transition. Close your eyes and take 3 deep, slow breaths. On the first breath, inhale the light of possibility and exhale the gray smoke of the old story. On the second breath, inhale certainty and exhale the need to know how it will happen. On the third breath, inhale your new identity and exhale the person you used to be. The third movement is the decree. Speak these words out loud. Your voice is a creative instrument. Say, I am rare. I shift now. Wealth is my frequency. Repeat this 3 times. Feel the words traveling from your throat into the object in your hands. You are charging this object with abundance. The 4th movement is the 48-hour hold. For the next 2 days, this object must stay with you. If you go to work, put it in your pocket. If you sleep, put it on your nightstand. Every time you touch it, you are to instantly reset your frequency. If a thought of lack enters your mind, touch your object and whisper, I shift now. The subconscious mind is like deep soil. It takes time for a new seed to crack its shell. In the first 24 hours, the old identity will fight for its life. But if you can hold your frequency for 48 hours, the new identity roots itself. You cross the point of no return. However, you must be prepared for the pilgrimage. The next 48 hours will be an inner crossing, and every old pattern of your mind will try to pull you back. You will encounter 7 distinct waves of resistance. The first wave is the resistance of logic. Your brain will tell you that this is just a rock in your pocket and that you are being foolish. It will tell you that the numbers in your bank account are the only reality. Understand that logic is a tool for the past, but intuition is the tool for your future. Logic can only report on what has already happened. It cannot see the miracles that are currently being assembled in the unseen realm. It is the accountant of your old life. Today, you are listening to the architect of your new one. The second wave is the urge to check. You will want to check your bank balance or your emails to see if a miracle has happened. Do not check. Checking is an act of doubt. It is digging up the seed to see if it is growing. When you check for proof, you are telling the universe that you do not believe the shift is real. You are looking for evidence because you feel the absence of the thing. Instead of checking, touch your object and know that the evidence is already on its way. The third wave is the ghost of memory. You might encounter something that reminds you of hard times. You might see an old friend who only knows the version of you that struggles, or you might find an old bill that triggers an old fear. Recognize these as ghosts. They are echoes of a frequency you have already left. They have no power over you unless you give them your breath. When the past knocks on your door, do not answer it. You no longer live there. The fourth wave is the wave of impatience. You will feel a surge of irritation that the big breakthrough has not arrived yet. You will feel that 48 hours is too long to wait. This is the ego's last stand. Impatience is simply fear in a hurry. When you feel it, breathe and touch your object. Remind yourself that the universe is never late, and it is never early. It is always exact. Your impatience is the only thing standing between you and the realization of your desire. The fifth wave is the mirror of comparison. You will see someone else succeeding, or someone else posting about their abundance, and you will feel a pang of envy or a sense of being left behind. Reframe this immediately. If it is happening in your field of vision, it is happening in your reality. The universe is showing you what is possible. Their success is your preview. Bless them, for in blessing them, you are blessing the same frequency within yourself. If you can celebrate another's harvest, you prove to the universe that you are ready for your own. The sixth wave is the unexpected test. Sometimes the universe sends a small hurdle, like a minor repair or an unexpected expense, right in the middle of your shift. This is the universe asking if you are still the person of wealth or if you will collapse back into the person of panic. Stand your ground. Respond as the wealthy version of yourself would. Respond with peace, knowing that the provision is already there. A woman of wealth does not panic over a broken thing. She knows the replacement is already provided. The seventh and final wave is the holy silence. Just before the breakthrough, there's often a moment of absolute quiet. No signs, no money, no news. This is the void. It is the pregnant pause before creation. Most people give up in the silence because they think nothing is happening. But in the silence, the new reality is knitting itself together, cell by cell. Stay in the shift. The dawn is seconds away. The silence is not an absence, it is a presence.
Think of this shift.
Like flipping a light switch in a dark mansion. The mansion has always been filled with fine art, gold leafing, and velvet tapestries. But because the light was off, all you saw were shadows. You thought the room was empty and cold. The ritual does not create the wealth. The ritual flips the switch. To strengthen the signal during these 48 hours, you may use 3 sacred amplifiers. The first is the water seal. Every time you drink water, hold the glass and whisper, "Wealth is my nature." Water is a conductor that holds memory. Let the frequency of abundance enter your physical cells. The second amplifier is the mirror gaze. Once a day, look into your own eyes in the mirror. Do not look at your hair or your skin. Look deep into your pupils and say, "I see you, rare soul." The shift is complete. When you can look at yourself and see the light of provision instead of the shadow of lack, the law has no choice but to manifest your vision. The third amplifier is the gratitude loop. Every time you spend money, no matter how small the amount, say, "Thank you, Divine, for this circulation. There is more where this came from." Never let money leave your hand without a blessing. Money is like a river. If you try to dam it up with fear, it becomes stagnant. If you let it flow with gratitude, it returns to you in 1,000 streams. Beloved soul, you are standing at the edge of the other river. The sound of the clean water is now a roar in your ears. You are not just trying a ritual. You are reclaiming your birthright. You are remembering that you are a child of the infinite, and the infinite does not do just enough. It only does overflow. You are the one who breaks the cycle. You are the one who stops the inheritance of struggle and begins the inheritance of grace. As we move toward the close of this moment, take one final look at the person you were when you started this journey. Bless them. Thank them for their survival and their strength, but tell them it is time to rest. They no longer need to carry the weight. The rare soul is taking over now. Now, understand the nature of the signs. They will come. The universe often whispers before it speaks. It sends small signals and tiny confirmations that the evidence is already forming in the invisible realm. Drawing from the wisdom of those who have walked this path before, we know these signs are like breadcrumbs. They usually begin around hour 24. You might see a specific number repeated everywhere, on clocks, on signs, or on receipts. These are confirmation codes from the field that you are tuned into the right frequency. They are the universe's way of nodding to you. You might overhear a conversation in a coffee shop that relates directly to your secret desire. You might find a book that opens to the exact sentence you need to read. These are not accidents. One of the most common signs is finding small, unexpected amounts of money. A coin on the sidewalk or a forgotten bill in a pocket. These are the first drops of rain before the storm of abundance. Celebrate them. Do not mock the smallness of the sign. Gratitude for the small signs opens the gate for the large ones. Pay attention to your dreams over these next 2 days. You might dream of abundance, of flowing water, or of feeling a sense of freedom you have never known. These are visions of the reality forming in your new timeline. And watch for the people signs. Someone from your past might reach out with an unexpected apology or an offer of help. These connections are the universe bringing the right people into your path because your new vibration is attracting them. But remember the darkest hour before the dawn. Just before the breakthrough, something might happen that looks like the opposite of what you want. If you can look at the setback and stay in your identity of wealth, you pass the test. The breakthrough comes immediately after. This is what happened to Barbara, who received a notice that her rent was going up right before she received an inheritance that changed her life. She chose trust, and trust was rewarded. We have come now to the final seal. Drawing from the deep understanding of the power of the spoken word, we use a final word of power to seal the shift so completely that nothing can pull you back. It locks the transformation into place so that the evidence becomes a constant flow rather than a one-time event. When you have completed your 48 hours and seen the signs, return to your quiet place. Hold your object in both hands and speak these words 3 times. Not as a wish, and not as a hope, but as a decree. The words are, "It is finished. It is done, and it cannot be otherwise." The first time you say it, whisper it. Let the words travel from your heart into the object and out into the field around you. It is finished. It is done, and it cannot be otherwise. Feel the door closing behind you so that you cannot go back to the old frequency even if you wanted to. The second time, speak it with your full voice, not shouting, but with absolute authority. It is finished. It is done, and it cannot be otherwise. You are not asking for permission from your circumstances. You are declaring what already is. You are speaking as one who knows. The third time, speak it as a final decree. If you can, stand up. Lift your object and declare with every ounce of conviction, "It is finished. It is done, and it cannot be otherwise." Let those words be the seal that locks everything into place. Let them be the sound that echoes through your reality, solidifying your new world. When you have spoken the words, open your eyes. Place the object down reverently. Take a deep breath. Feel the shift complete. You are no longer the person who began this journey. You are the soul who knows wealth is their frequency. After the seal, you must release. Do not keep asking if it worked. Do not keep looking for the next sign. The seal is the end of the work. Now you simply live. You move through your days as the person you have become. You make your choices from a place of abundance. You speak from a place of provision. You trust that the evidence will arrive because it is the natural result of who you are now. By completing this shift, you do not just change your life. You change your lineage. You break patterns of lack that have been passed down through generations like a heavy chain. You become the one who stopped the cycle and refused to hand scarcity to those who come after you. You are creating a ripple that moves forward and backward through time. This is why the shift is sacred. This is why the seal matters. If you know in your bones that this is your moment, then I invite you to subscribe. This is your declaration that you are committing to this path. Every message here is another key for your journey. In 48 hours, when the shift is complete and the evidence has arrived, come back to this video. Go to the comments and write your testimony. Your story will become the breadcrumb that leads another soul to their own shift. Your words of success will be the frequency that awakens someone else who is still drinking from the murky river. Now let us say the words together one final time to seal this moment. Say them out loud with me. It is finished. It is done, and it cannot be otherwise. Feel it in your heart. It is finished. It is done, and it cannot be otherwise. One more time, with all your strength. It is finished. It is done, and it cannot be otherwise. Feel the seal locking into place. Feel the old identity dissolving and the new identity rising. You are rare. You have shifted. Wealth is your frequency. From this moment forward, the universe has no choice but to reflect that truth back to you in every form and every way. You have crossed the threshold. The shift is complete. And so it is.